to please help her in that effort. I mean, imagine if we just all decide to do that. It totally changes the power paradigm within the company. And men's voices are especially crucial. No, and thank you, Ollie, for saying that you're so right. It's so much more than just sitting there and not saying anything. You realize the power of a man who simply just would say, hey, knock it off, don't ever talk like that ever again? It stops it cold. So thank you for bringing that up. As far as the horrifying stories that I heard immediately after my story broke, I was shocked at how pervasive the epidemic was. But here was the other thing. These stories were not really subjective. You know, there's a lot of people out there right now saying, oh, well, you know, men can't even smile at a woman anymore, or men can't say, hey, I really like that outfit or whatever. These are not the stories that I was hearing from women. Almost all of the stories that I heard in the thousands were so horrifying and so over the top and so obviously sexual harassment that there was no line of subjectivity involved. So for anyone listening who thinks that these stories are, you know, really fine line and it was just one joke or something like that, that is not at all what I experienced in the stories that I heard. Now, I don't know if that makes me feel better or worse, but at least it makes me know that this whole kind of excuse of, oh, well, men just, you know, can't even be in a workroom anymore with a woman, that's BS. I mean, it's so obvious that some of these stories were so horrific, there was no fine line in any of them. Right. Well, okay, I think 99.9% of all women have absolutely no problem, Wally, with you saying, hey, I like your shirt today, okay? I mean, come on. That is absolutely normal. What is totally over the top is when somebody texts you nonstop about having sex after work, okay? That's pretty obvious. Or when somebody, you know, no gray area. Or when you say no and you call them out and say, please don't ever text me again, if they happen to be your boss, when they start taking away plum assignments from you, or they demote you, or eventually they fire you. I mean, the retaliation part of sexual harassment is really the undersold part of the story, to be honest with you, because a lot of people just want to hear the salacious, sexy details. But the undersold part is what happens to women when they rebuff it. And they're just trying to stay alive and keep their jobs. And then before you know it, they're on the downside, you know, they're the ones that have to give up their careers and the American dream. And the harassers get to stay on the job. I mean, it's actually outrageous when you think about how many thousands of women have been stripped from the American dream. And most of them never have the ability to go back to the profession that they worked so hard to attain. It's outrageous. Is let's inspire, you know, a whole new generation and my generation to feel the power and the bravery and the courage to speak up and to have that fierceness that we were all entitled to have. No. Great question. Yes, it was a cathartic experience because as I read all these other stories, I had my days of, crying and responding to them and feeling my own emotions. The right path to really making a turn here. I mean, you know how fast the news business works. We're still talking about this. And news outlets are looking for more stories. And I encourage women who reach out to me, go to your local news and tell your story because the time is now. And so I really feel like we've all decided we're going to be on this Be Fierce movement, together. And that keeps me going every day. And I have a bracelet on my arm that says Be Fierce that I look at every day. And that also keeps me going to really play out this mission and, for sure do it for our kids. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thanks much. Thanks, Wally. Thanks so much. I appreciate it. Take care. All right.
Great. Done and done. No, you can stay. I'll go around. If you wanted to slide in. We're good. Hi, this is Gina. This is Soham from PNKBN2, Gutcha Carlson. Hey, how are you? So we are actually going to be closer on time than I thought. We were able to leave MBC right now. We're on 7th and 50th Street right now, 7th Avenue. So we should be there by 3. Okay, no worries. This is the best number, yep. Thank you. Bye.
Who's that?
The person at the podcast right now.